Well, thanks, Alish, for having me here. We just had a few minutes to prep chat, and we're just connecting to our intention of why the heck we're here and why this matters to us. And I just want to start by saying I'm so grateful. We're so aligned in our mission for people, how our mission is about happy homes and elevating children and elevating women and humans.
I love it. And actually, such a great reminder on Sunday, as you and I both were enjoying our families and really understanding what this is all about. We both work very hard to be very intentional, very conscious, very dialed in. And so it takes all of that to have what it is that we talk about.
This program's all about elevating relationships.
Mhm.
Option C, stay, leave, or change. And it could be marriage, common law, mom and daughter, it could be sibling, it could be business partner. Stay or leave or change, option C. And it was inspired absolutely by a client of mine who wanted to enter marriage. And this is why reaching out to your community means so much to me, because I said to you, I have a really strong feeling that there are probably people here right now who aren't taking steps towards that yet, but are contemplating it, and that's completely fine. And that may be the ultimate outcome. But what I wanted people to know is that there is a third option to staying or leaving. And to kind of introduce myself to people that don't know me yet, but I was a divorce lawyer for ages and ages, around 17 years in family law. I was also a mediator and a children's lawyer and did a lot of cool hats in family law. And so what I haven't shared yet was, I quit my law job to do the coaching full time a year ago. It was a side hustle for a few years, and I was coaching lawyers and co-parents in the family law world, and co-parents meaning people who are already separated or divorced and co-parenting their children from two homes. And it was mind-blowing. Honest to God, Alicia, I thought that we would see people like shift 10%, like a little shift, and it's like wicked. Like that's so much better than what we were doing before, which was nothing, right? And people paying hourly rates to their lawyers and the conflict still not getting any better. But what we saw was like 90-degree turns, 180-degree turns, 60-degree turns. And so what I know now is what I want to share in option C in this new program that's starting April 18th. And it really is about first having the most important relationship, which is with ourselves, which is then a direct mirror, direct reflection into every single encounter, every relationship, everything. And, I was sharing with you this morning some stumbling blocks in my own life, right? And it's like always coming back within and saying, okay, what's going on here, right? So I thought I've helped so many people for 17 years end marriages. And toward the tail end of that career, which was phenomenal in every way, I got to help people transform who they were in conflict. But now I want to help people transform the relationships that they're in before it gets to that point. And no matter what stage we're in our lives and in our relationships, I can't think of one person, including myself, who wouldn't want to have more, better, elevated connection.
Yeah, I love that. And the reason why it's so important from my perspective is because in the Lemonade Life community, I hold women who 50% of the women that I hold are contemplating separation and divorce. These are women who are self-care, people who want to learn and grow and have a growth mindset, have a positive attitude, want to do the right thing for themselves and their families. Another 50% I hold are in separation, right? Some that have chosen to go through it, others that have not. We've seen people reconcile. We've seen people move forward. And so you're absolutely right. There is such a community of people right now that are in this understanding of, am I in the right place for myself right now? And is this the community that I want to exist in? And who do I want to support me.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
I
so,
do think when you said that the change, right? Option C, change, the grass is not greener on the other side, right? There's no easy answer. Stay, go, keep that friend, because there's no right or wrong. There's no timeline to follow. The only thing
Mhm.
that you can control is yourself
Yeah.
and the work that you do within,
Yeah.
so that you can make the best choices for yourself and your family. So I love option C,
Yeah.
because it really is, it's the only option no matter what.
This is exactly it. And how this all started was I had a student of mine from a program who really saw some real like shifts in herself as we went through it, reach out to me by email about a year ago. And she didn't know that I had left law yet. So she messaged me saying, "Hey, Rad, like I'm doing better, but I think I want to have a legal consultation to get clarity." Another big C word, right? Which will come from this program, I promise you. So I said to her, "Look, I got a whole roster of badass divorce lawyers who are child focused and all the things, but your message said you wanted clarity. And I'll tell you, that's not what lawyers are designed to do, really. And Alicia, you've been through the process. Like, yes, legal clarity, but not clarity about should I stay or should I leave. By the time you get to a lawyer's office, and the stats will show, it's you're ending the marriage. There's very few reconciliations that we see. Okay. And really, what is the lawyer going to tell you? You divide everything. You divide income, you divide property, you divide the kids' times. So it's not rocket science. So I said to her, so if you want clarity, I could also offer you some coaching sessions and we can break it down and do the work, the change, the C, the clarity, the confidence, the all of the C's. And so she was like, "You're right. That's what I need." She was like, "Rad, you are the only human being who said there was an option C."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Really?" Like, with all the mindset stuff and all, and maybe that's the bubble that I live in, that I'm obsessed with it. And that's the only thing I follow or watch, and you watch the news. She was like, "I asked 10 girlfriends what I should do. And everyone said, kick his ass to the curb. All 10. And these are doctors, lawyers, engineers, teachers, educated women who know stuff." She goes, "You are the very first person who said there was another option." And I know for you and me, in the world we operate, we're like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
There's only two options: stay in a shit situation or leave it. And you and I know, if the pattern's in us, which it always is, the next relationship doesn't get better until we change.
Yeah.
And get clear on who we are and who we want to be, right?
And further complicating that is that we're not always in a shit situation. I don't believe that I had marriage ending problems. I met the partner of my dreams. We had a beautiful family, a beautiful home. We worked together. We created community together. Life changes. Life happens.
Yeah.
And so having that opportunity to really go inward, and just to be clear, change is constant, right? And it's healthy, right? To understand that, it's important to grow, to evolve, to learn. But the thing with change is that there's a level of awareness, right? Oh, should something be different? And so when you have that level of awareness and you're able to work with someone who can run through resources, tools, scenarios, paths, plans, that you start to build a level of competence, right? And confidence for what is that decision? It's just one decision at a time, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be all or nothing. And it
Absolutely.
doesn't have to be filled with, well, I have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, and we can make whatever decision we make today with the best information we have. Guess what? We can also make a different decision tomorrow. And I so often work with people that go, well, I've got to make this decision. It's all or nothing. It's absolutely going to blow up this. And I have to justify it in all of these ways, right? We just are so stuck in that ego space of answers and how we're going to justify it to the world, instead of going, okay, what works for me right now?
And that's why I didn't say to my client, well, should we try to save your marriage first? That wasn't the advice I gave her. I said, you want clarity, so clarity in making the decision, and whatever the decision is, and the decision can change in a year, like you say, right? And when we really broke it down, it was wild the impact it was having on her kids, right? And what was going on there. And so I thought, oh my God, this work is going to benefit every single person, especially the kids who we love the most. But it was about clarity. And, we say when emotions are high, intelligence is low, right? And so it's like right after that big fight is not the time to make the decision. Getting a broader perspective, understanding your participation in the tango, because it's a tango. And what I believe is it takes two to tango and one to lead. So how do you elevate it? Just by shifting yourself. And a lot of people say to me, does this work if it's just me doing it? 1000%. 1000%. And one of the sweetest things I'll say, my husband said to me once, I'm still trying to get him to meditate with me. Pray for me, Alicia, right? But what he said to me when I started going really deep into this path and taking time away from the kids and going on retreats and doing the thing, in my way, he said, keep doing what you're doing because we all benefit from what you're doing. You bring
And that is
energy into
that level of, right, that healthy, it is healthy to grow together and apart. Just because we're in relationships evolve, the great Esther Perel, she says, what is it? On average, we'll have 11 different relationships in our life.
Wow.
With the same partner or not.
Right.
But there's this, right? This is the thing. It's healthy to grow together and apart because it's better for the whole.
This is it.
Have both those vantage points. You know what I love about this too, Rad, is that, I'm a divorce coach, right? And I support women through this. And people will think, oh, then it's anti-marriage and it's the drama and the shame and the gossip. And you're a divorce lawyer and you think, oh, well, that's litigation and court and take them for all they're worth and stretch it out. Just these negative associations with it. And here we're saying, though we've been from different perspectives in this world, we have an affinity towards marriage and family and healthy relationships and partnerships.
Yeah.
In however they look.
Isn't that ironic? That's such a great observation. That's actually quite hilarious that here we are talking about programs and inviting people to elevate their relationships. And that's just it, right? It's like, I live my dream life. I literally truly do. And all I want is for others to do the same.
Yeah.
However that looks for you.
It's true. And even myself with my co-parenting partner, it's a lot of work. We're still in a relationship. And that's what I say to people as well. Whether you're in a partnership, right, that nuclear family, or you have a co-parenting relationship, you are in a partnership that is responsible to these children who are powerless to have made any impact or decisions here. And so as the adults who are parents, who are a job description, by the way, not just an entitled thing, right? We're responsible to their social, emotional, physical well-being, really just focused on the task and the situation, because yes, of course, emotions are going to get high and it's stressful.
Right. And doesn't matter what side. It's really just about you and the experience you want to have. Right. And my ultimate teaching and goal for people is how to connect to bliss, how to connect to flow. And what that means to me is despite all circumstances, and I mean all, and despite what someone says, what someone does, my goal is to get people there where we are so resilient. And, am I there 100% of the time? Hell no. But am I there 98% of the time these days? Yeah. And there's a way, there's a path to that. There's many paths to that. And that's ultimately what I share. That's ultimately why I left law.
Yeah. And I love that, Rad, you started off, it's the clarity, right? In order to, you can call it whatever you want, reach your goals, manifest, be in your vision, in your flow state, whatever these bliss states are, the clarity is so important to have a community where you can be really honest and remove the fog and the narratives and the social modeling and the old thinking and the patterns and all of those things that we get stuck in, to
Yeah.
just have that clarity,
Yeah.
to be able to then start to course correct slowly but surely to
Yeah.
get to our highest potential. And to your point, you're right, Rad, neither one of us are there all the time. But we have the practices because we've been doing the work in that. I
Yeah.
love this.
Right.
Profound and practical, life-changing,
Thank you.
life-changing. Thank you.
I
Thank you
love
for
this.
all the work that you do and everything that you are. I can say I have worked with you professionally. I have worked with you personally, and every time I am changed.
I'm so honored to be doing this with you.
Me
And
as
I
well.
can't imagine what we will do in the future. But thank you for taking this time on a Sunday before your Easter egg hunt to
Thank you.
talk about how we could help our
Thank you.
communities and the world.